I mean, look at that mountain that you have out your window. And then that mountain. I don't think there's going to be much chance of a sunrise. I'm not sure if you can see that behind me there, but there's just a big cloud that's kind of come over. That's no big deal. My plan now is to just explore this area, to be honest. Never been here. There's fantastic little woodland just about here. I haven't even started on the lake yet. Sorry, loch. Oh dear, I think I've had one of those days where inspiration has left me. Instead of just not releasing the video, instead of just deleting my work, I'm going to post what I took and I'm going to give you an idea of what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and feel free to make comments, feel free to join in the discussion as to what's good, what's bad about the photos that I have taken. First photo up. First thing I don't like about this, it's too busy. There's just too many roots in the photograph, there's too many trees up top. The reflection in the water, I suppose it helps it a little bit maybe, because it's blurred, it doesn't make it quite so crazy. Things that I do like, I like the way that it's in thirds, so we have the trees at the top, roots in the middle, and the water at the bottom. Apart from that, that's about the only thing that I can really take from this. The walk out around this lake on this side hasn't been that fantastic. I just haven't been able to find any compositions that I've liked. There's no special light today, it's just cloudy, dull, and I don't know, I'm not feeling particularly inspired. I'm going to keep on trying. There's a little forest, a little peninsula just coming up here, as you can see behind me. I'm going to walk up to this and maybe try and spend a little bit of time here. If I'm having no success there, I'm going to get back to the car and I'm going to try and head over to Rannoch Moor. The only other thing that I've really seen today, there's a few buzzards flying about. I've made a little video of that. They're quite interesting. They've been squawking away. I think they've been following me around. I'm not sure if I'm close to the nest or not. I'm going to have a little explore around this peninsula which I've arrived at. And we're on to our next photo. Next photo is one of a tree. I do like this one. I think that the shape of the tree is really nice. I think that this little almost depression in the ground kind of gives the tree a little bit of space to just erupt up from that ground. But the sky for me is the problem here. There's just nothing happening. It's a grey, it's a dull sky. Tried a few things to try and sharpen it up just with my clarity here and specifically selecting just around the sky, but even with that it's just a dull grey sky, maybe with an amazing sunrise, amazing sunset behind it, or just something more interesting than dull and grey. I'll put this into colour for you quickly so that you can see. Colour doesn't do anything for it. For me again, it's just the sky makes this picture too dull. Oh my goodness, it is freezing here. I've arrived down at Rannoch Moor and I've got the camera set up. I've just taken a wee walk out from the car. Not too far, about probably 200 meters or so from the car. I found a nice boulder and I've got a bit of a nice background here. The white on the mountain is actually brighter than the clouds in the sky, so this is quite interesting. This is something that might go up on my wall, you never know. I do quite like this. I did initially have it in colour and I thought, to be honest, it's just a little bit more punchy in black and white, which is why I've gone for that. The sky is quite impressive here, the fact that it is darker than the mountain. A little bit disappointing that it gets a little bit lost up around this area. It would have been nice if that had been a nice clear line of the mountain. But can't really complain about that too much. I like this photo. Do you know the way I like reflections? Well, look what I just found. Look at that. It's basically like a mirror reflection. There's a layer of ice over the top and there's a layer of water over the top of the ice. Whenever the wind dies down, because it's so shallow, there's not a wave. It's spectacular. The only thing that it needs now is a fantastic sunset behind it. If that happened, oh. Ooh, now we start the reflections. This is the first one of a few that I took with a reflection of that mountain. Stunning to be there, stunning to see, and again, I'm happy with this photograph, but I just want something in the foreground. It feels too bare for me. Yeah, it's just not interesting enough a photo for me to really be happy with it. And again, that sky, that just grey sky, that frustrates me a little bit. But again, it's okay, it's okay. One of the things I struggle with a little bit sometimes, I think, is just getting the composition right. Okay, I've got a lovely reflection, but should I put something in the foreground or should I just let the reflection be the subject of the image? I struggled quite a bit back there with that last image. There was a rock, but I just didn't feel like I could get it fitted into the frame correctly. Oh, this is icy. Oh, and mucky. Oh, shh. Where do you go? All right, so I think I have a plan. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Glencoe, just before Glencoe, and to Glenateef. What my plan is to, basically there's a famous waterfall down there where you can take a picture of one of the famous mountains. Sorry, my knowledge of the area names is awful. Again, I'll pop it in the video. Don't think the conditions are right today. There's not enough water coming off the mountains. I don't think there's been much of a thaw on. There's not much of a sunrise or sunset happening, so everything's a bit grey. But I'm going to take a walk down to this waterfall anyway, set up the tripod, and kind of recce the place, I suppose, for a time whenever I can take the picture. Every time I come here, it's just breathtaking. I mean, look at that mountain that you have out your window. Alright, I may not have got the picture that I came for, but I've got something quite nice. There's little bits of ice just not floating on the river, but they've formed over rocks and they're kind of stuck there now, I suppose. I've used my polarizing filter to darken the water, which really makes these bits of ice pop out. And obviously then we've got the mountain in the background. Alright, again, I like this photograph. I think the mountain looks spectacular. The river's quite interesting. There's a boring band along here in the middle of just grasses and heather, I think. But apart from that, it's quite a nice photo. The sky's okay. There's a little bit of drama there in the sky. What I find about this photo is I've taken this at the wider end of the lens, 16mm on a crop frame, so I don't know what that's, probably like 25, 26, something like that. It just makes the mountain feel a little bit small for me. Whenever you're here, this mountain feels huge, but in my photograph it just feels like it's recessed a little bit too far back, a little bit too insignificant. That's how I feel about this photograph anyway. Again, I like this photo. I think this is quite nice. The sky looks quite dramatic. The mountain, again, it's a little bit far back. I'm at 12mm this time, but I think the river leads up into that mountain quite nicely. If that river was full, if I was getting some really nice long exposure shots of water from that river, oh my goodness, I think that would be stunning. What I do like, compared to the last one that I took, this along here is a little less intrusive. I don't think the eye's drawn to that so much as compared to the previous one. But I do like this photograph, and I do think this looks quite impressive. It works quite well in black and white, I think, as well. I can just pop that contrast a little bit more, really make a difference between the darks and the lights, which really plays for the mountain, which is covered in snow. You get this dark kind of trying to break through, but then that white snow just sitting on top of it, just keeping a cap on it. Yeah, I like this photograph. Again, this is probably one of my favorite ones from my little trip.